In this video, you'll discover the 5 biggest mistakes I made over 4 years of working out so you can hopefully avoid them and save 4 years. I'll walk you through the 5 mistakes, explain why they held me back, and share what I do differently now. Remember, these have just helped me. They might not help you, but I hope they do. My first mistake is optimizing my workouts before even having a consistent diet. So how this held me back was I was so focused on making sure that my workouts were perfect and thinking I could out-train my bad diet, which most of you probably already know you can't out-train it by a bad diet, but I didn't realize that. So I wasted 2 years of just trying to out-train my diet and optimize all in my workouts thinking, oh, it's because I'm not doing this machine or I'm doing 2 extra reps instead of just doing an extra set. And it was just me trying to optimize 10% better gains from working out instead of getting the 90% better results by focusing on having a consistent diet first. So what I would do differently now is I would go back to front. So I would first focus on trying to have a consistent diet and put most of my attention on the diet. So 80% of my attention will go to the diet and 20% will be going to working out. And that should ensure that if you have your diet in track and you just work out subpar, you will have much better results. And I don't guarantee anything, but I had much better results than focusing 80% of my workouts and only 20% on my diet. Mistake number 2 was working out for 3 hours long. So how working out for 3 hours long held my progress back was I would spend all my time and energy at the gym, 3 hours working out, making sure I'm doing 4 sets of 12, which was just too much because I would do 4 sets of bench press, 4 sets of dips, 4 sets of tricep extensions, all 12 reps. I would do all of this, make sure my rest is perfect. You see how I was optimizing way too much for my workouts. But then after I get home from the gym, I would just not really care about my diet and pretty much eat whatever I'd like. And again, how that held me back was you have to focus more on the diet than the workout because the working out part is the easy part. The diet is the hard part in my experience. So what I do differently right now is I only work out for 45 minutes to an hour maximum, and that's not including cardio at all. So this gives me so much more room to A, add cardio to help fat loss, B, have more energy and effort just in the day, and C, my muscles weren't as nearly as fatigued as they used to be because I'm not doing so much junk volume because you don't need that much. And a comment on one of my previous videos was talking about how you don't need that many exercises to actually see growth in the muscles. But I forgot to mention for what body parts, like for biceps, how many sets a week you should be doing, and chest and back. And to be honest, I don't really know. But what I recommend is if you're doing 20 sets or more a week on a single body part, to just try cutting it down a little bit and seeing if that helps building more muscle because you don't need that much more volume, right? You just need a little more volume than you're probably doing or a lot less than you're already doing. And see how much better your muscles recover since now they're not in constant pain of just getting shredded by a lot of excess sets that you do. Number 3 was skipping cardio when trying to lose weight. So how this held me back personally was when I was trying to lose weight, me skipping cardio made it a lot harder because cardio helps a lot when it comes to cutting weight. What I would do differently now is instead of just skipping the cardio or doing hard cardio, I would just try to get 30 minutes of the Stairmaster at a very low, maybe 50 steps per, I think it's 50 steps per minute or 60 steps per minute, around that range, and just do that for 30 minutes. And the most important one, try to walk a lot more. My 4th mistake is running to lose weight. So I used to run 5 miles every single day and swim a lot of miles also. I did that specifically to try to lose weight, and that worked for a very tiny bit, but it was obviously not sustainable at all. And what I ended up doing and what I would do differently is just walking more. So at work, when you are standing still doing nothing, just pace around your little space that you have. Walk up and down the hall. I mean, you might look like a weirdo, but you'll at least be a shredded weirdo. And also, when you are at the gym and resting, I like to just take walks around the gym. Make sure you have your stuff next to your equipment that you're using. And, don't take like a 50-minute walk, but for the entire time that you're resting, just take a nice light walk. And this will make your total steps in the day go up a lot. So if you add 1,000 to 2,000 steps from walking around, 1,000 to 2,000 steps at the gym, and then an extra 30-minute walk or an hour walk, the more walking you do, the easier weight loss will be. That is just something that I've found. And mistake number 5 that I had for a very long time was focusing on other people's progress and then feeling bad about my own. I don't agree with comparison is the thief of joy. I think you should compare yourself to see what the people above you and much further ahead of you are doing differently. The only time I feel like it gets bad is when you look at the people ahead of you and just judge yourself on how far of a gap you are emotionally. You need to understand they have probably done it longer than you, and they have probably been more consistent in all these things, and a lot of other factors come into play. So what you need to do is compare yourself to someone else who has maybe the physique you want, maybe the money you want, whatever you are trying to compare yourself to. Focus on what are they doing every single day that either A, I'm currently not doing. So maybe the guy who has absolute insane shredded physique is walking 1 to 2 hours a day, and you're only walking 10 to 20 minutes a day. So instead of comparing your physique to his physique and feeling bad about yourself, realize what is he doing that's different than me, and then mimicking it. So he does an hour to 2 hours of walking a day. Boom. Now you have something that you can do. That's an actionable step instead of just feeling bad about yourself. Another thing with that is when you do that, you will realize how much more power, how much happier you'll be, because you'll realize, okay, they're doing this. Let me do this. Then when you start doing it, you are slowly becoming the person, or you are slowly getting the goal that you are trying to get, right? Or the outcome that the person you're comparing yourself has. And that was a big mistake that I used to do. I would look at someone who's absolutely shredded and just kind of just complain, be a little baby, be like, dude, what am I doing? Or how the hell is he so much bigger and shredded than me? God, I'm such a loser, this and that, right? But what I do now, and I try my hardest to do, is what is this guy doing every day consistently? And how long has he done this for that he has this result? Oh, he walks for 2 hours a day. Oh, he's extremely disciplined and very, very consistent with his diet. Oh, he eats 200 grams of protein a day. I'm just throwing out random examples from my own experience, from looking at people ahead of me and figuring out what they're doing different. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that video. Thank you guys so much for 100 subscribers. I love every single one of you. Yeah, let's just keep this going, guys. See ya.